Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Human Thrive podcast. So I'm Amanda, your Human Thrive coach, and today we're diving into something that has the power to completely transform your life. Now, what is that? Training your brain for discipline. So let that sink in. Now, I know discipline can sound a bit like a boring school rule, is that right? But in reality, it's not about pushing yourself or punishing yourself into action. It's about creating a kind of habit that your future self will thank you for. So your future self will thank you over and over again for putting in these good habits. So discipline's about creating an environment where the right choices become easy. We don't want to make this difficult for ourselves. Psychology would agree that if we set up our brain and environment right, success isn't about willpower, it's about wiring, our brain wiring. So, the cognitive loop and why most people struggle to build in habits. Our brains run on something psychologists would call the cognitive loop. So, that's a repeated cycle where a trigger sparks a behavior which leads to a reward. So let's think about that. You feel stressed, so you turn to chocolate. You get the reward because you get the sugar rush, and it feels good. So you've took an action that's led to the reward. Your trigger was you felt stressed. And one time you've done that, because people will say, oh, have a wee bit of chocolate, oh, you deserve a wee treat, and you'll begin to make that association. So the more often that cycle runs, the more often we tell ourselves this food is comforting, the more automatic this becomes. So you wake up in the morning and you feel a bit tired, so you think, oh, I'll have coffee. You get the reward because you get the buzz of the coffee, or even just the feeling that it wakes you up. Even if it's not real and it's just placebo, you get that reward. So the next time you do it, you'll do that again, and it becomes just your habit. You don't even question it. You just automatically go make your coffee. So this becomes automatic. And any habit that becomes automatic is your brain's way of saving energy. Because, let's be honest, if you had to consciously decide every single thing, you'd be mentally exhausted before lunch. So the challenge, most of us are running around with these negative loops going on without even realizing it. So think about this. Stress. You feel stressed. You start scrolling through social media. Your reward is your little dopamine hit. And that loop is reinforced again. Or that even social anxiety, you lift out your phone to scroll when you're sitting somewhere waiting on something. Your reward is that wee dopamine hit. So you're going to do it again and again, which is why we're all addicted to our phones now. And that loop is getting reinforced over and over. It becomes a habit. And no big decision-making process is there. We literally, is habit. We lift our phones, we scroll through them. And some people lift them in appointments, and then the person doing the appointment gets annoyed, and the person probably doesn't even mean to be rude. It's just such a habit. And I'm the same. So no big decision-making process is there. It's just your brain taking the path of least resistance. So what kind of habit loops are you in? So these habit loops and the science of repetition. So The Power of Habit, the book by Charles, I can't remember his surname now, and he breaks it down into 3 words: that you have this cue, the routine, and the reward. So neuroscience would tell us that these loops live in the basal ganglia of the brain, the habit center of the brain. And once a habit is formed, once you form a habit, it runs automatically. It just runs automatically in the background. But can we control it? So here's the kicker. You can't delete a habit loop, but you can override it. So this is called habit substitution. So basically we need to replace an old behavior with a new one, which gives you a similar reward. So think about one habit you'd like to change now, and think of one now. And once you've got it, we're going to come back to that later. So what is what can we do about this? So the future self principle is one of my favorite concepts in psychology, and it's future self continuity. So there's research that says when you feel disconnected from your future self, you'll make choices that make now feel good, but future you pay the price. Now, I like this concept, but I do find it hard not to want the immediate rewards now. And to think of your future self is, let's face it, it is difficult. So let's make it personal. So if we picture yourself in 6 months from now, where are you living? How do you feel in your body? What is your energy like? So you're living in the body that you're building. No, your future self, is living in the body that you're building today. Your future self is living in the financial reality that you're creating today. Your future self is in the relationships that you're nurturing today. So when you start to see your future self clearly, your discipline stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like a love letter to your future self. You're creating that future self, and you want the best for that future self because it's you, and you're going to be in that body. You're going to be that person. So next time you're faced with a choice, ask yourself, will this serve the woman I want to be in 6 months? Is this going to create my future self? Is it going to be helpful? Is it going to be helpful or hurtful? So let's take on discipline that reminds us that discipline is consistency over intensity. So some people think people get up at 5 a.m. every morning and exercise, they're so disciplined. But when you do it and you keep doing it, it becomes a habit. The same way as the people who wake up every morning and go for their coffee, or the same people that get stressed and start scrolling on their phone or eat chocolate. They've built that habit. And I did used to exercise at 5 in the morning. I don't do it now. I've got out of the habit, but I'd love to get back to it. But it became easy, and you naturally started to wake up at 5. You naturally just wanted to do that because it was such a habit. And probably having a wee boy who, it's changed a wee bit for me, but I can build that habit. I can overwrite the habits I've got now. It does take a bit of work, but I can do it. So this consistency over intensity, and reminding us that we need to do a little every day rather than have us one huge push and burnout. So a bit like brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation to do it. It's part of who you are. It's a goal. It's a goal with like any habit for it to become part of your identity. So most people are somebody who brushes their teeth twice a day. That's just your identity. So it doesn't feel like a chore to do it. It's just part of you do it. It's just the habit loop that you do it. You brush your teeth when you get up. You brush your teeth before bed. It's just so ingrained, and it's just a habit of people and part of our identity. So we don't question it. It doesn't feel like a chore. Well, most of the time we just do it. So how can we use this to kind of have wee hacks to train our brain to build healthier habits? So there's a thing called habit stacking. So if you attach a new habit to one you already do. So in the morning, if you boil the kettle, you want to have your coffee. So after I boil the kettle, I'm going to write my 3 daily intentions. Or after I boil the kettle, I'm going to think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. And build that into something. So, or when I brush my teeth in the morning, I'm going to do 5 sit-ups, whatever you want to stack it on to something that you will definitely do that you already do, and just stack it on. And then shrink the starting point. So make it so easy you can't fail. So before bed, after I brush my teeth, I'm going to do 1 deep breath before bed. I'm going to do 1 push-up. I'm going to do 1 journal line. I'm going to write 1 line of a book. I'm going to, whatever it is, build it into the morning or the evening, tag it on to after I boil the kettle, after I brush my teeth, something that you'll always do. And then make the reward instant. So celebrate after you take action, even if it's just, verbally thinking, I'm proud of you. Well done. You're doing something good for our future self. So you want to make that so easy that you can't fail. and then make your reward instant. So celebrate that. Celebrate yourself. Spend 2 minutes picturing how proud and strong your future self will be. And the other thing, change your environment. So remove any temptation and make the desired action obvious. So if you want to work out in the morning, have your trainers, have your yoga mat, have it sitting out where you see it in the morning. Make it easy. Make it easy for yourself. And think of something then you could start with today and just pick one habit to stack on to something and keep it simple. So every choice you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. No single decision will make you disciplined or undisciplined, but over time, each vote will add up. So I like to picture 2 jars, future me thrives or future me struggles. And every time you make a choice that serves your future self, drop a marble into the thrives jar. Every time you choose the easier but harmful route, you drop one in the struggles jar. So which jar are you filling more often? And that's a vote for your future self. You can do that for real and actually have a really tangible thing to see, which I might actually try. Or you can just imagine that. Which one are you filling more often? Yeah. So when I first started, I don't do this now, but ages ago, when I was morning journaling, I didn't do it because I felt like I did it because I wanted to become the kind of person who starts their day with clarity. I made it easy. I put my notebook on my pillow each night. That cue in the morning made it almost impossible to ignore. Fast forward a few weeks and I realised, I was just doing it every morning. I was showing up. I was calmer. I was more intentional. I was more grateful. And it wasn't even discipline. It was just part of my identity. And I am out of the way of doing this now, but at the time it really helped when I was really starting to get into practicing gratitude. Now when I wake up, I kind of think of things I'm grateful for. I don't necessarily write them down, but that's because I built that habit up and now I don't feel the need to actually write it, but I can just think it. So yeah, let me know how you get on. So your brain is this pattern making machine, and if we don't train it, it'll just keep running the loops that we have in place already. If you do train it, those loops will carry you effortlessly towards your goals. So see your future self and love them enough to make the choices that support that future self. And every small decision, even tiny little habits, every repeated loop, it's about shaping who you are becoming. So remember, discipline, it's not all just willpower. It's wiring that we can override. And wiring is built one choice at a time. So until next time, keep building your habits that help you not just survive, but thrive. And thank you for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please subscribe, write me some feedback, do whatever. But thank you so much. Thank you for listening. As always, bye.